All right, everybody. We'll take a look at that homework assignment here in just a second. I want to make sure we got section 2, the second half, ready and done. So I'm going to put some, write some things up here on the board. So this is 9-2 part B. This is multiplying matrices. So I'll take a couple of these examples that I have up here. We do a 1, 2, let's see, a 2 by 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's get this focused here. Hold on a second. 2 by 3, it'll be a 1, 2, 3, a 0, -4, 5. This is a 2 by 3. This is row 1, row 2, column 1, column 2, column 3. That's how we get our 2 by 3. So this should have been taught to you in algebra. If you had me for algebra, then you should have it. We did talk about multiplying matrices. So we're going to multiply this by a 3 by 2. So 0, -1, 4, 3, and -2, 5. And I just randomly made these matrices up. Again, this is row 1, row 2, row 3, column 1, column 2. So this is a 3 by 2. These two numbers have to match in order to do multiplication. Does this sound familiar to you guys? No? It's okay if it doesn't. I'm showing you how to do this. So if these two don't match, the inside numbers don't match, then you cannot multiply the two together. What you're going to get is the outside numbers. I'm going to get a 2 by 2 for an answer. So here's how this works. I'm going to take row 1, and I'm going to flip it on its side and multiply it by each column. So I'm going to take the 1, 2, and 3 and multiply it by column 1 here. And when I do that, and multiply them out, 1 times 0 is 0, and I add each of the other ones. 2 times 4 is 8, and 3 times -2 is -6. That's going to be my row 1, column 1 entry. So now I take row 1, and I multiply it by the second column over here. So 1, 2, 3. So 1 times -1 is -1, plus 2 times 3 is 6, plus 3 times 5 is 15. Well, that'll be row 1, column 2. You do not need to write the R's and the C's up there. I'm just showing you the positions. Okay? So to get each column, I take the first row and multiply it by each column. To get the second row, I take row 2. So whatever row you're on, those are your entries in your answer. Now I'm going to take row 2 and multiply it by each of these. So I'll just erase this. You don't have to write this stuff in. I'm just trying to write it so you can see it. 0, -4, and 5. So 0 times 0 is 0, plus -4 times 4 is -16, and 5 times -2 is -10. And the same thing over here, 0, -4, and 5. So each row times each column, that's 0, -12, and 25. So my actual answer is a 2 by 2. This will be 2. -1 and 6 is 5, plus 15 is 20. -16, -20 is -26. I'm sorry, -16, -10. And -12 and 25 is positive 13. So there is a 2 by 2, which is what I said you would get. That's how you multiply matrices together. So I'll look at this other example that I have up on the right side of the board. Let me write it down here. 1, -2, 4. So tell me what the dimension of this matrix is. 3 by 1. I have 3 rows and 1 column. 3 by 1. Now I'm going to multiply it by a 0, 2. Somebody tell me what the dimensions of that are. 1 by 2. Are the inside numbers the same? Yep. Now, what is the size of my answer? Should be a 3 by 2. Is that right?
Yeah.
3 rows, 2 columns. Let's find out. I take row 1, column 1 times row 1, column 1. So 1 times 0 is 0. That was row 1, column 1. Here's row 1 times column 2. 1 times 2 is 2. Alright, now go to row 2. Row 2 is just negative 2. Times column 1. What's negative 2 times 0? What's negative 2 times 2? Negative 4. Okay? Oh, I have my And then row 3, 4 times 0 is 0, and 4 times 2 is 8. So what did we end up with? A 3-row, 2-column matrix, which is what we said the answer was going to be. So you take the row times the column, add the extra entries that you have. So we didn't have any extras on this example to add together. Any questions on multiplication? All right, here's one I want you to do. 6, 3, 2, negative 1. That's a 2 by 2. We're going to multiply it by 1, 0, 0, negative 1. That's a 2 by 2. What should your answer be? 2 by 2. Right, so this is in your note-taking guide. This is number 4, page 229. If you want to do it in your book, or you can do it on your notes. Any notes you take is always good to have. So I'll give you a moment to figure that out. Should have a 2 by 2 for an answer. Row 1, column 1. Go through, do the second row. You got that right. Who wasn't done? Okay. You guys are really quiet. You guys eat for lunch. Oh, okay. Okay, I want to ask another question here. The matrix stuff, I want to make sure we got this part down. If I give you this matrix, this is in your book, I'll just write it up here. Negative 3, negative 1, 0, negative 1, 3, and 0. And I want a matrix to show a translation. So everybody understands how to do a translation by shifting left and right or up and down or a combination. But I want to make sure you can write a matrix that tells you what you have. So this represents coordinates. This is my x's entry, and this are my y entries. So this is a coordinate negative 3, negative 1, 3, and 0, 0. So if I wanted to shift this right 3 units and up 2 units, everybody would add 3 to my x's and add 2 to my y's, and that's how you would find your image. So how would I write a matrix that shows that? I understand that you know how to do it on a graph, but what do you make it into a matrix? Did you guys do this in one of your last assignments?
I don't know, like you add and then
Well, there should have been something in your assignment that had something like this.
like down 4 up.
There was like 2 problems, and then we had to graph it.
Right. So if I'm moving to the right 3, what does that do to my x's? You're adding 3 to each one, right? Well, if this is my X row, don't I just add 3 to each entry? And if I'm moving up 2, what would I do to my Y entries? I'd add 2. Let's change it. What if I moved it down 2? What would I put here? Since I already have an addition there. Okay, -2. And this would be your translation matrix. So if you didn't catch that in your assignment, there you go. That's good to know for your tests and your quizzes. Make sure you can come up with a translation matrix. I know translation matrix. I know you can do translation. That's not my issue. My issue is, can you draw the matrix that goes with it. All right, now I want to talk about something that you need to be able to do given a story problem. I wrote in the answer here, but I want to go through it with you. This is example 5 in your note-taking guide. So we'll show this part. The bottom part is not necessary. You have to be able to write matrices with equations in this way, especially when you come to the test. There may be something like this on the test. So I know you could read this story problem and probably figure it out what it's asking. It wouldn't be that difficult. But I need you to be able to take it from a story problem and put it in matrix form. That's a skill to have. So we're going to use a simple story problem to kind of show you how to do this. So a men's hockey team M needs 7 sticks, 30 pucks, and 4 helmets. Notice down here in the solution in this matrix, this is your M, row M. This is each thing that they have. And W is going to stand for women, the women's team, what they have, sticks, pucks, and helmets. So this matrix kind of shows you how to set it up. All right, 7, 30, and 4, everything that the men have, everything that the women have, and each individual type is your column. That's how we want to set it up. Then it goes on and says a hockey stick costs $30, a puck costs $4, and a helmet costs $50. Use matrix multiplication to find the total cost of the equipment. Okay, well what you want to make sure you do is that each of these line up specifically. They could have written this as 34 and 50 as one row, but that wouldn't have matched this up, because what do you got to do? You got to tip this over like this. And each stick is $30, each puck is $4, and each helmet is $50. So they had to write it in a way that when they do the multiplication, they get the right answer. So for the men, you get an answer, and then the next row you got to multiply. That's the women's, you get an answer, and you'll get what each one is totally spending out.
Do you know what sounds right? I'm supposed to leave right
Oh,
now.
yeah. So this is all I wanted to show you, and I'll give you your assignment. So this is important. Make sure you can do this sort of thing. Your assignment, didn't I give it to you Friday?
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Oh,
Was
no,
this 7?
It's like 7.
17 and 29 odds.
Yeah.
33 and 34, thank you, that's what it was. 17 to 29 odds, 33 to 34. That was case study e-learning day today, and I said that's what we would do if you were here today. So if you did it, you're done. What page was it?
You didn't give us 584.
584, 17 to 29 odds, 33 and 34. All right, cool. Begin.